Alright, it's time to go. Physical Earth.
Our wonderful chorus, the Distant Worlds Tokyo Choir.
It's actually quite a large group, surprisingly enough.
We have brought many new scores to present to you tonight.
Yeah, Earthbringer is the Earth Damage Knight ability. It's going to be the exact same thing as Guardbringer, just Earth. So right out of the gate, we got some guy hype.
Final Fantasy VII. But first, we must perform this most important music to celebrate our first 100 performances.
Doesn't have a whole lot going for him, does he? However, my favorite word in the world, however. His BSB is what his strength is based around. It's actually good. Ish. 6 group attacks, Imperil Earth, haste, and burst mode to the user. Come on, guy. Does 4 attacks, but the multiplier increases with the user's attack up to 0.65 over 4 attacks, so that's not that high. 2.6 isn't bad. Dark Bargain, group attacks. This was a really good Burst Soul Break back when Burst Soul Breaks reigned supreme. But it loses a lot of luster, I think. So probably not all that fantastic. And it's just a direct upgrade over his super, so it's not like that. The existence of that matters that much. If there's anything to be said about his BSB is that the axe itself that it comes on is a plus Earth axe. So there's that. Does he have legend materia? No. So, Guy briefly enjoyed his moment in the sun, but unfortunately, we haven't got the thing that he gets that would give him that moment in the sun, and which would be eventually robbed from him as everybody in the game outpaces him. So he's gonna get a C tier. Ingus, however, is right out is the wielder of the Earth Chain for physical characters. So, oodles of goodness. And the chain, as an added effect, grants Last Stand, which is very, very interesting. Because Last Stand doesn't speak like, present itself as an offensive capability, but it actually can be used as such, because it allows you to focus less on caring about your characters staying alive or not, because they can survive death once, and possibly more times if you use the chain more than once, which you probably will. So that's really nice. And then after that, we'll take a look at his 2 BSBs, both of which are effective in what they do. And obviously, since we rated Snow as S because he had the chain, as well as having the Radiant Shield for ice, we will do the same for Ingus, who has the Earth Radiant Shield in burst mode fashion, as well as having a self-buffing with Oathsworn Espada and Attach Earth BSB and Earth Radiant Shields. And we'll take a look at their commands. Commands on Ingus's Burst Soul Break 1, not that great. However, However, I'm just gonna try not to say that word anymore. He does get a Sentinel command, which wasn't good. Well, it was fine, because, tanks are sometimes useful, but gets a lot better later on when we get access to Earthbringer, a 5-star knight ability that does earth damage over 4 hits with a giant 4.0 multiplier, based upon, as long as you have enough defense to meet a requirement. And Sentinel has plus 200 defense attached to the status, so it makes it a hell of a lot easier to hit that requirement for Earthbringer. And on his other 2 commands, he gets Knight Boost 15% for 3 attacks, and attack and defense plus 50% for 20 seconds, which is a pretty strong buff, but doesn't do any damage itself. So interesting bursts, but definitely his primary draw is the Earth Radiant Shield and the Earth Chain. And his legend materia suck. But that's okay. It can get up to 50% attack for each hit taken by damaging attacks, which I guess isn't the worst, because that's something that's going to passively grow. Doesn't matter. Does not. This situation doesn't even matter. But 3% is going to take a while. Even if the boss AoEs 5 times to start the fight, that's still only 15% attack. Yeah, you know what? That sucks. He has 2 LMR. Grant attach Earth at the beginning of the battle. Well, that's a hell of a lot better. Knight abilities deal 15% more damage is a good LM1. So he may be one of those characters that's worth half diving. And he has a good LMR 2. Anyway, I haven't seen anything here that's gonna talk me out ass. He has a chain. He has a chain. It's a really good chain. Yeah, whatever. Yang doesn't have a legend dive, but he's still actually really good. I'm probably gonna have to rate him B because of no legend dive. But Yang gets a BSB. That's really nice. It's kind of like Joseph's. He gets haste, attach Earth, and burst mode to the user. And the commands are grants Unbound Fury, which is a reduction in defense and resistance, but gives you ×2 cast speed. And his first is 5 attacks if the user has Unbound Fury. So you use the second command, then you start using the first command over and over and over again. It's fine. Or you use 5-star monk ability, which would be preferable because it has a higher multiplier. And you would still get the ×2 cast speed multiplier. He's just very glass cannon-y. He doesn't have the fallback that Master does, which is Last Stand attached to his Burst Soul Break. So it's a really risky thing to use. But with no Legend Dive available to him and nothing else of note available to him, he's going to have to be a B character. He can do a really significant amount of damage, and that's why he moves from C to B over Guy. Ursula is very, very similar to Yang, but doesn't have the same drawbacks. Ursula is Yang's daughter, and her 7-star Heavenly Fist, haste, attach Earth, and burst mode to the user, allows her to she doesn't need Unbound Fury to have cast time because that's built in natively to her Command 1 itself. But her Command 2 grants Dance of Carnage to the user. Dance of Carnage is a unique status effect that it gives you 50% crit rate. So you use that and then you do other stuff. Which was probably... I probably use this attack over the 5-star monk ability. The 5-star monk ability is a lowish multiplier at 2.8 something or whatever. And plus 20% crit rate. And then there's always Meteor Crush. You could use Meteor Crush too. What's the multiplier on Meteor Crush? Just a flat 3 and it doesn't get buffed. And it's only 2 attacks, so never mind. You don't want to use that. It would be Gaia Rush. It's a 2.72. And plus crit chance. Yeah, that's probably clearly better than this 0.83 cast time. Because you'd have a 70% crit rate. Because of the Dance of Carnage, plus the 20%, or yeah, the 20% from Gaia Rush. But anyway, what moves, or what gives Ursula the potential to go further is the fact that she does have a Legend Dive. Which is weird. Character released after Yang gets a Legend Dive, but he doesn't. Nope. 25% chance to dual cast monk abilities is good, but her Legend Dive itself is not. The rush abilities buffed? Not a lot if they were. Yeah, it gets buffed to 2.88. Yeah, 2.88. That's what I was thinking of. So 2.72 to 2.88. Not that big of a buff. They always had 4 attacks because they were more modern stuff anyway. Like, we haven't gotten one of them yet. That's how shiny and new they are. So not that big of a deal. She's probably going to go in B as well. Her LMR is not enough to put her into A, as far as I'm concerned. Her LMR being the 25% chance to dual cast monk. Oh, Bartz comes back. And we already established that that's a thing, so. Oh, Galoof. Galoof is back too, but Galoof is back and better than ever. Because they decided to change Galoof into something else, which is an Earth Monk instead of a Fire Monk. So, Galoof's USB is really interesting. It's like Rafa, in a way. Attack and magic plus 30% to party, and grants haste to party as well. And grants attach earth to the user. So he buffs the party up, grants attach earth to himself, and he starts using earth abilities, which he has access to since he is a monk. That's a pretty interesting USB. Great on an earth party, I think, just like Rafa. So he's probably going to get A, but let's see if he has earned the A. And we'll look at his Burst Soul Break 2 as well as his Legend Dive. 8 single attacks on his Burst Soul Break 2 causes Imperil Earth. And the commands... Redoubled Effort. What a good name for a second burst. He also gets Dance of Carnage on the second attack, or the second command. Unfortunately, I'm seeing 2 single at 0.54 each. That's an abysmal multiplier. That's actually like hurting you to use that to give himself Dance of Carnage. That sucks. So he's not going to do a whole lot of damage, just to Imperil Earth. Really, Galoof is based around his USB. This BSB2 looks like a hunk of junk. Galoof gets a 25% chance to dual cast monk. I think with that nice party buffing USB, He's probably enough for A. I'll put him in A for now, and we'll check to see the other A's later, see if it knocks him down. But he's still, I think, a valuable member of an Earth party with his USB. Of note, his USB comes on a hammer with plus Earth damage on it. His legend die was good? No. 2% attack for each hit dealt with monk abilities. Up to plus 50%, which sinks. Especially since the best thing that Gloof can do is a USB that doesn't even deal damage. So it would actually just benefit this 0. Next up, Dorgan, who gets a USB in the latest Final Fantasy V event. 10 single attacks, defense plus 100% to the user, and grants Attach Earth and Sandstorm follow-up to the user. This already sounds great in Sandstorm follow-up. I press Control F. Thank you. Is one of these. He gets a 6-hit chase as long as he has a 5-star or a rank 5 ability that he uses. Luckily, he gets plus 100% defense with the cast of his USB, which works with a certain Earth ability I can think of called Earthbringer. So you hone up Earthbringer to R5 and 100% hit rate too. I guess that's kind of interesting. Anyway, it's this is an immensely powerful Earth USB, and pretty much automatic S tier. And this is before we look at his Legend Materia. So he is just an Earthbringer bot. And this is before we look at his BSB1 or his BSB, which is actually not bad itself. And Earth and Peril Earth 20% attack and defense plus 30% to all allies. Useful, but everything that he does is pretty much based around his USB, which comes out in the distant future, but still, it's there. And Dorgan's Legend Dive, 35% chance to dual cast Night abilities. This is a very, very, very easy S tier. Oh, and by the way, his USB sword that gives him the USB is plus Earth damage in all realms. Dorgan is likely the best Earth damage dealer in the entire game. We'll see if... Oh, Orlando. Damn it, Orlando. Rained on my parade. And maybe Dorgan's better. We'll see. Maybe Dorgan's better. Because it's not like Orlando has the greatest Earth options. He would have to use Earthbringer, which he doesn't have any self-defense buffs for. No, I would say that he does more damage than Bartz. Bartz is still good. Good enough for S tier, but Dorgan exceeds him. Definitely. Yeah, I'd say he's better than Orlando. Because Orlando has a great option. Or I'll get to that when we get to Orlando. Calgary is next. Another Final Fantasy V character. Calgary is an Earth Ninja. And he is based around his USB, which is instant cast speed. Oh, wait, no. That says Super Soul Break. Okay. Lupine Attack. Kelger's USB is regular cast speed. And grants physical blank 1 to party, ninja rank boost, and Lupine follow-up. Ninja rank boost. Orlando LMR is 25% chance to dual cast Night, so yes, it does apply to Earth. Ninja rank boost. Ninja abilities deal 30% more damage if you have the ability to at R5. That is a huge damage boost. Huge. And damn it, I forgot the name of the status. Lupine follow-up. All he has to do is use an Earth attack and he gets Lupine follow-up. Lupine follow-up is 4, 6, or 8 single-ranged attacks if the user has physical blink 0, 1, or 2. Well, that's interesting. This is really nice because he's very similar to Shadow and Edge in the fact that there's ninja abilities coming out with the event that he gets this USB that are mimics of, or clones rather, of the ninja abilities that we have right now for Shadow and Dark and Water. So he's exactly like them, except he gets a 30% damage boost. As long as the abilities are R5, which, if have a lot of dark orbs lying around. Stock up on them really good. Really deeply. Well, Ricky, they're all similar to each other. I mean, Yuffie and Kelger are more similar to each other than they are to the others, but they're all pretty much in the same boat. And the fact that the more physical blink that they have, the more chase that they do. So Kelger's USB does a hell of a lot of damage. And Kelger, what do you got for a Legend Dive? 30% chance to grant Quick Cast 3 to the user after using a ninja ability. Don't like his Legend Dive that much. How do we feel about Kelger? Is his USB by itself enough for us? What was the multiplier on that chase? 2.56 at max? That's high. No, it's not. It's not even that high. You get a 4.32 for Shadow and Edge. Yeah. Shadow and Edge will cap. True. Maybe. Yeah, they will. 2.16 on a single attack is pretty cap worthy. Yeah, I don't know. That Legend Dive hurts. That Legend Dive really hurts. What do you have for a BSB? Attach Earth. Yeah, unfortunately that's A, I think. Yeah, right. Now, his USB is very strong, Blyven. And I think it's worthy of an A. It's just he doesn't have what it takes to be S. And we're removing Cloud from these lists. Oh, okay. I see what you mean, Blyven. So yeah, we're in agreement. Tifa. Gets a BSB2 and an LMR2. But our USB is 10 single attacks, grant haste, a radiant shield, 100% high region, all allies. It's pretty weird. Pretty weird. But it's okay. It's alright. It's not quick. What does Tifa do from there once she uses her USB? She uses a pretty uninspiring 5-star monk ability in Gaia Rush. So that's kind of messed up. Let's see if her BSB2 saves her at all. 8 single attacks, causes a peril alert 20%. Sure. What are the commands? Half cast time, Dance of Carnage. But again, Dance of Carnage is a single hit of 1.1. It's a penalized and yeah, I think we're gonna throw Tifa in B. Unless Legend Materia can convince us otherwise. And her LM2 is 34% chance to grant Quick Cast 3 to a user after using a monk ability. Attach Earth. She needs that Attach Earth. But that's fine if we assume that she has that. Still, not good enough. Not good enough here for A. Rude. Gets a BSB. An Attach Earth BSB. Hybrid, huh? Grant Stitch in time to the user. He can be an Earth Mage? Rude is so funny. I have to check it. Because I know his BSB comes on a fist weapon. Does his fist weapon have magic on it? Does 132 magic. That's great. But he's just kind of weird and funny and cool, I guess. But doesn't seem terribly effective. The Stitch in time that he gets on his second command does not help his physical out at all. So, you know, that sucks. And he doesn't get a Legend Dive. Which is fine, because it's not like he would have been Legend Dive worthy anyway with just that BSB. C tier, sorry Rude. You're cool, but whatever. Ward. No, I don't think. Oh, so do they change the command on everybody? Adia. Oh, they're calling it Magic Bargain now. Okay. So he does get attack and magic. Great. Because, I mean, I see how it was necessary because Stitch in Time, the ability itself was changed. It's just the damn terminology change. It's gonna mess with my head for a few. Ward. Massive Anchor. Grants haste, attach Earth. D tier. Sid for Final Fantasy 14. Now, it's good that I know that Enlier's Stitch in Time means both attack and magic now. So Sid from Final Fantasy XIV actually becomes a good character, but that's for Fire, not for Earth. For Earth, he's still pretty awful. 7 group range attacks, Imperil Earth. You need to use his single hit Earth Command 1 in order to increase the chance of him doing an Imperil 10% with his second command, which isn't that strong. He's just there to inflict Imperil Earth. He does get a 35% chance to dual cast Machinist, which he needs to dual cast his burst commands because there are no Earth Machinist abilities. Yeah. He's awful. He's awful, but not bad enough for D. It's bad enough for C. Next up is Gladiolus, who hasn't changed at all. We know now that he is just a burst, and not too bad burst. It gets better with Earthbringer and an OSB. C. No, I guess B because of Earthbringer and OSB. I guess it depends on his Legend Materia, and if I remember correctly, they're not that great. He has a cover chance with his LMR1. He has an LMR2 for a dual oh my god. 25% chance to dual cast Night abilities. That's worthy of B. I didn't know Gladiolus got an LMR2. Oh dear, Orlando. Oh, this guy. So Orlando is actually an Earth character, as well as being a Dark character, as well as being a Holy, as well as being a Lightning. He gets this because of his new USB, released in Japan, called Sword Saint, that I don't believe is mentioned here. Oh, I guess it is. Just spotted the typo critical chance. So the entry itself auto crits. Which is pretty cool, right? And it also grants Cross Slash, the status from Cloud's USB, which gives him auto crit for 25 seconds. And it gives him X Sword Saint. So he auto crits Holy and Dark damage, sure. It's it doesn't exploit vulnerability there, but really Orlando comes into his own with the stuff that comes later. So he auto crits the entry, he auto crits for 25 seconds after that. And then Sword Saint Gives him attack plus 50% and 100% chance to dual cast night and darkness abilities, consuming an extra ability use. So very similar to Shantoto. So what you'll want to do, because we're talking about Earth right now, is likely... It's tough. It's tough because you'll need to stack his defense somehow. Otherwise, you're stuck using Gaia Cross. No, actually, you know what? You Gaia Cross and Earthbringer. Yeah. Gaia Cross and Earthbringer, and you really just need to entrust him. Or hope he takes hits at the start of the fight to get him up and able to use this, because the faster you're able to use this USB, the better. Because Gaia Cross gives the Draw Fire status, and Draw Fire gives him plus 100% defense, which enables you to better use Guardbringer or Earthbringer and get those 4 hits. So you're dual casting Earthbringers. That's an 8.0 multiplier per turn. He's soul breaking every single turn at regular cast speed, and it gets even worse. He gets haste and instant cast 3 to start the battle with his Legend Dive, and a 25% chance to dual cast Night or Darkness abilities with his LMR. So you could potentially be doing OSB level damage every single turn. So yeah, you know, Orlando things, right? Oh yeah, right. It gets buffed to 5 hits, so it's 100k or 150k. 25% chance to triple cast instead of double cast. Just Orlando things. He's S. God, A. That's hilarious. Millie Duel. I excluded her from the list before I remembered, oh yeah, she gets a USB. Because her BSB does do earth damage, but it's just does earth damage instead of, you know, doing a lot of damage. She's was a support character with just her BSB, but she moves into actually being a competent damage dealer as well as a support with her USB. Causes Imperil Earth 20% and defense, magic, and resistance minus 50% for 25 seconds. Not that great. You know, back in the day, this defense and magic and resistance debuff would have been awesome. And it still is outside of Magicite dungeons. It's just they need to add more like super difficult content where this thing could shine. And stuff like this could shine. I hate how debuffers have been relegated. So she's not really a great damage dealer. Because as an Earth Knight, she does not have access to very many good Earth abilities. Like Orlando, who is an S tier Earth character, with just the abilities available to him, actually does holy and dark damage a hell of a lot better. I'm gonna have to name her as C. She can life siphon, can't she? But alright, what do you got for legend materia? Percentage chance to minor imperil, and night abilities deal 25% more damage when equipping a sword. Yeah. B at best. C. C. She's more of a debuffer, and that's okay. Not really meant to be a damage dealer. Marsh. So Marsh is here, even though what makes Marsh Marsh does, I believe, just holy damage. Yeah. So Marsh's divine combo, his USB, only does holy damage, but Marsh is an Earth Knight. Why is our Marsh an Earth Knight? Because his USB grants attach holy, even digging that hole further. But really, what makes Marsh capable as an Earth Knight is his X mode speed combo. Which is an attack plus 30% and grants physical high quick cast 1 to all allies in the front row after using a knight ability. So what you're supposed to do with Marsh is use your USB and then just use knight abilities. So that makes him viable on either an Earth or a Holy team. Clearly he does Holy better, but you don't have to trust me in envisioning what happens when Marsh gets put on an Earth team and starts using Earth abilities and grants physical high quick cast 1 to every single ally you have in the front row. He supercharges both Earth and Holy teams with this USB. And, yeah. And can probably do it because giving a high quick cast 1 to all of your allies is so powerful. It probably doesn't even need to be on Holy Earth. So yeah, that's it. He is only OP in physical, but you can say that about a lot of... physical characters or a lot of magical characters. Like, just thinking about Marsh and Bart's on the same Earth team. Ugh. Even if you put Mage in front row, the status bestowed is actually physical high quick cast. So you cannot benefit it if you're not using physical abilities. Oh yeah, is Legend Materia. Marsh gets a 35% chance to dual cast Knight abilities. Right. And Knight abilities deal 25% more damage when equipping a sword. That's easy enough. Marsh is S because that giving high quick cast to your whole team is so stupid. It's just so stupid strong. Bart's can use Knight, but not 5-star. Machina. Yes, Shooting Star speed combos after he uses Knight abilities. Nobody else on the team has to. He grants physical high quick cast, which will affect any physical ability. But only he needs to use Knight abilities. I don't know, Adia. Maybe tomorrow before... Like, I start stream 2 hours before the Brabra event hits, so maybe I'll do it then. Anyway, Machina. Machina's USB Awakening. 10 single attacks, grants Attach Earth, Awakening, and Dual Blink 2 to the user. So what does this Awakening do? Because Dual Blink 2 isn't that... It's fine, it's something, but Awakening needs to really pull this USB together. So he gets cast speed times 2. That's nice. First of all, what does Machina even do? Combat 5, he's a Spellblade. Okay. Cast Blade Rush after using a Spellblade ability. Removed upon taking damage. Attach Earth. Awakening Dual Blink 2. Okay, so the Dual Blink is pretty damn relevant. But I mean, him taking damage 3 times before 15 seconds, which would be the duration of another person's X mode, is pretty likely. What's your Blade Rush? It better be, like, insanely powerful. Is it not called Blade Rush? Cast Blade Rush upon after using a Spellblade ability. Okay, well... Rush Blade. And Lear, I caught you. Randomly deals 4, 5, or 6 single attacks. That's it? That's not powerful enough. Legend Materia? 35% chance to grant Stone Skin 30% to the user after using a Spellblade ability. 35% is not enough. You have, you essentially have a single turn to give yourself Stone Skin 30% before he, maybe 2, possibly 2 turns. To give yourself the Stone Skin so you can keep the buff going. And Stone Skin 30% isn't even guaranteed to completely stop damage taken. That's, you know, that's probably the biggest problem here, just like Noctis. Stone Skin 30% is not... sometimes a single attack will wipe that out and cause damage to you and allow you to lose the status. No. I refuse you. Wait a second, what's your BSB? Grant Stone Skin 30% to all allies. That's it? He can keep on granting himself Stone Skin. That's awesome. So if he like uses his USB, then he can keep on spamming his command too. And he'll keep that effect going for all time. He just won't do any damage. But, you know, gotta break some eggs, right? He sucks. What do we got? Ingus, Bartz, and Orlando? Or Dorgan? It's a solid S tier. Honestly, Mog and Edward LMR, so not being there is good. If I remember correctly, Mog's LMR kind of sucks. But the removal of Echo sucks. Yeah. Buff duration on, yeah, but I don't really care. On Edwards is fine because Edward gets 10-second buffs. But Mog gets 25-second buffs, so he doesn't need duration increase. Oops. It's a tiny A tier. Haste doesn't get any benefit from those LMRs anyway. Forgot about Marsh. Only stat buffs get the duration increase. Haste is not affected. Oh, yeah. It's a good thing that there's, like, marathon battles in Final Fantasy Record Keeper that you need to alternate soul breaks for.
I am thrilled to introduce our next guest artist. She is the featured vocalist from the original release of Final Fantasy IX, and she's going to sing the beautiful melodies of life. Please welcome Amiko Shiratori.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's a weird thing to say. Why would you use his USB over his BSB? Have you seen it? Not only is it hybrid, where his BSB is completely magic, but it grants Quick Cast 3. That's Quick Cast for physical and magical, by the way. You're frigging absurd. Mog's USB is great. And his BSB is too. It's just they play different roles. Allegro is mage only, yes. All right.